Welcome to the keynote stage. So my name is Mark Walsh. I'm the founder of this conference and part of the leadership team with Daniela and Manel. We have got quite a feast, quite a treat in store for you. The main stage doesn't have all the top names on. Some of them are spread out for various logistical reasons, but there are some awesome presenters on this stage. This stage is also sponsored by Elan Stefani. When we first had the idea of getting sponsors, I basically said, I won't take anyone as a sponsor unless I love what they do, because otherwise it doesn't have any integrity for me. I didn't know who Elan Stefani was, but I met her in Berlin. Someone said, oh, she's an intimacy teacher, she's an ex-sex worker, best-selling author in Germany. And I said, okay, well, I'll meet her. And I met her. And as soon as I met her, I felt at ease. I felt like, wow, this is a person who's playful, but also a deep listener. This is a woman who's a real leader. Since I've seen her work with people in very, around trauma, around intimacy, around very difficult areas, men and women, I've come to regard her as a friend, actually. I love her. So go to her website and check it out. It's Elan, I-L-A-N, Stefani, S-T-E-P-H-A-N for November I, elanstefani.com. There's an offer there called Love and Rage, which is as juicy as it sounds. You'll also find links in the descriptions for the videos below. So welcome to the Embodiment Conference. Tonight we have a bit of a treat. Jack Kornfield and Trudy Goodman, two very senior meditation and mindfulness teachers from the United States, associated with Vipassana and American Theravada Buddhism. So that's my own tradition of Buddhism. So I'm very happy to welcome both of you.
Thank you, Mark. Jack and I are going to take turns speaking with you. We're really happy to be here, and just hello, everybody. Obviously, I'm Trudy. This is my beloved husband, Jack, and he will speak first and do a meditation.
My beloved Trudy.
He will speak first and lead a meditation, and then I'll follow him and speak some and also do a meditation. We felt it was important, especially at the Embodiment Conference, that we embody what we're talking about. And so we're going to spend part of our time with you actually practicing very, different couple ways to really bring that embodiment alive in our own being.
Thank you, dear. Hi, everyone. Happy to see you. We're living through such wild times, the multiple crises of the pandemic and the climate crisis and the crisis of racial and economic justice and Black Lives Matter and the economic crisis that's come from the pandemic, but really is part of that question of what is economic justice for everyone. So it's really a hard time for so many, not everyone, but almost everyone. And we could kind of get fixed about how stuck we can be in this time. But in fact, it's a time also of great mystery. The world is changing in ways we could not have predicted. And so what does it mean to actually navigate and be present in this? Now, the truth is, because so much is uncertain, we tend to leave our bodies. When things are uncertain and we get scared or afraid or worried, and all the kind of collective anxiety that I've seen in so many people over these months and that I felt in myself, then we go into fight, flight, or freeze, kind of the trauma response. And part of that is to leave our bodies. And yet, here we are in this human incarnation, and we have to figure out and remember, how do we navigate these in an embodied way within our own bodies, with the bodies of those we love and care about in the society around, and with the body of the earth itself. What's also true is that we as human beings have gone through these things before. We've lived through pandemics and typhoons and earthquakes and tsunamis over thousands of generations. It's in your DNA, that capacity to go through difficulty and to survive. And in order to do this, what's required is finding the inner capacities, the inner strength, the inner ability that was born into you, your own true nature, and using that centered and rooted place to navigate this time. So before anything else, just take a deep breath or two and let yourself become present. And in this crisis, you can also see how much we need one another. That you're listening to me, but also in the chat will be everybody else's comments and questions. We're a community of human beings. We know how to do this. And no one can take your courage, no one can take your power, no one can take your dignity. Your true nature is what you have to rely on. So then the question is, how do we do this? We need to find ways to quiet the mind and tend the heart and root ourselves in our bodies and in this earth. At MIT, Professor Francis Lam, who runs a agricultural visionary lab, had students come and work on all these new plant varieties that would bring more food and more abundance. And they said, well, maybe we should play music for the plants and see if that makes a difference. And he laughed, after all, it was MIT. And he said, okay, but we have to make it science then. So how about this? 1/3 of the plants, silence. 1/3 of the plants, what do you think? Nice music, Mozart. And 1/3 of the plants, he said, play Tupac. And they did that for a month or two, put the seedlings in. And the result was that the hardiest and strongest plants were in the group that had listened to the beat of Tupac. And that's because the force of the beat moved them and forced them to have deeper roots, much more than the silence or the melody of Mozart. And you begin to realize, oh yes, we can root ourselves in the earth. We can root ourselves where we are. And when we do, we shift our identity from what's called the body of fear, worry, anger, agitation, and so forth. As we're rooted, we also then have the space to pay attention in a very different way. A poem from Juan Ramon Jimenez, who writes, "Yo no soy yo, I am not I. I am this one walking beside me, whom I do not see, whom at times I manage to visit. At other times, I just forget. The one who remains silent when I talk, the one who forgives sweet when I hate, the one who takes a walk when I am indoors, the one who will remain standing when I die." And in this, you can feel in this poem, the one who will remain standing when I die, who takes a walk when I'm indoors, that wise, loving awareness that can step back and say, here I am in this present moment, in the reality of this. And I can be steady in the midst of it and become the loving witness of it all. As Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh said, when the crowded Vietnamese refugee boats met with storms or pirates, if everyone panicked, all would be lost. But if even one person on the boat remained centered and calm, it was enough. It showed the way for everyone to survive. And guess who that person might be? As Miss Piggy would say, moi. It turns out to be yourself. That you can trust the reality of the present. You can trust your capacity to be present for the 10,000 joys and the 10,000 sorrows. That you can hold a bigger picture, the vastness with your own great heart of compassion and loving awareness. And that you can trust that no matter how difficult things are, this is not the end of the story. In the Buddhist teachings, the first of the noble truths is suffering and its causes, greed and hatred and ignorance we can see around the world. But that's not the end of the story. The third and fourth noble truths are the path to liberation of heart and mind and humanity, are the path of generosity and love and wisdom. There's a way for us as humans to live, for you as a human to live. When you quiet the mind and begin to trust that you can hold all that you're with with an embodied and loving awareness. And we'll do this in a moment in a practice together. Trust so that Lehman Gaboui and Ellen Sirleaf, who won the Nobel Prize and are the leaders of the nation of Liberia, they said, our country used to be known for its child soldiers, and now it's known for its women leaders. Just as Liberia can turn what was painful into something new that flowers, so too each of us can go through this difficult time. And as we learn the skill of presence and loving awareness and compassion, we become the loving witness rooted in the earth and caring for what is around us. So let yourself take a seat in a way that's comfortable and grounded. Allow your eyes to close gently and take a couple of deeper breaths just to release whatever you're carrying. And feel the mystery of being alive, halfway between heaven and earth in this human form. You take your seat. The mystery of your own life in the vastness of space and time. And as you sit, feel the weight of your body on the chair, the cushion, whatever you're seated on, the pull of gravity. Relax. Let the earth hold you. And now let yourself imagine or feel that, like a great tree, you have roots that are going deep down into the earth. From your body, extend these roots, strong, energy-filled roots down through the soil and into the earth itself. And sense yourself like the trunk of a great tree, of a redwood or a great oak, some great tree. And the winds come and blow the leaves. The sun comes and brings you the nourishment of light. The rain comes and you are steady in the midst of it all. And now, in this place of steadiness, let us bring a loving awareness, a way to tend the body, heart, and mind, an embodied presence. Bring your attention to the whole field of your body and sense it as an energy field, tingling, throbbing, and pulsing, warm and cool, areas of hard and soft, heavy and light, pleasures and pains, places of contraction and release. You feel the whole field of your body. And if there's any area that's particularly tight and difficult, bring your attention to that now. What's held in the shoulders, or the jaw, or the back, carried from all the different stresses and uncertainty. And as you feel it, hold it with a loving awareness and invite that tension or pain, tightness to get stronger. Let it intensify and fill more of your body. Let it get bigger, as big as it wants. You could name it softly: tightness, tension, pain, pain. And as you name it, as if to bow to it, Allow it to open and show you fully. Feel it fully, as big as it will get. And notice as you allow its space to open in its own way without any resistance or trying to change it, it expands and begins to soften because there's no resistance. And you become the space of awareness, holding this place with compassion and kindness. And now hold the whole field of your body with the same loving awareness. Your body has carried so much. Feel a compassion for this body and love for it. And say thank you. Thank you for carrying so much. Thank you. I'm okay just now. And feel how your body responds to this thank you, to the compassion and gratitude. Thank you. I'm okay just now. And as the body softens and settles and receives this gratitude and breathes deeper, now bring your attention to the area of your heart and all that your heart has been carrying. The worry and fear, the frustration or loss. Perhaps there's grief or tears, the ocean of tears. There's longing in the heart and love, creativity. There's anger and hurt, joy. And as you feel what your own heart has been holding through all this time with loving awareness, let it open and show you. What is it that wants to be felt? That wants to be received, even if it's painful, the tears or grief or hurt or anger. And receive them, whatever it is, in the space of loving awareness and tender compassion. Let them open so you feel fully. And trust that the loving awareness is big enough to hold it all. And bring in compassion. Your heart has worked overtime in this period of uncertainty, carrying so much. Tender compassion, and say thank you. Thank you to your heart. Thank you for carrying so much. Thank you. I'm okay just now. I'm fine here and now. I'm okay. You can relax. And let your heart soften and feel the gratitude. And feel that you are okay in this moment, grounded in the earth, witnessing with loving awareness. And feel the whole energy of your mind running in circles, trying to create and imagine and plan and remember and figure out and envision all the thoughts and images running and spinning one after another. Feel the energy body of your mind. Its speed, its lightness and fleetness, its complexity, all that's there. And holding this too with loving awareness and compassion. You can say thank you. Thank you for working so hard to protect me. Because that's what the mind is doing, trying to keep you safe, help you. Thank you for working so hard, for trying to protect me. I'm okay just now. You can relax. You can rest. And feel the mind begin to quiet and soften. And notice now that who you really are is not just this body that you've been tending to, not just these emotions that come with your human incarnation, not just the thoughts, but that in this meditation, you have become awareness itself. You have shifted your identity to become the loving witness of body, heart, and mind. This is who you really are, timeless awareness. Born into this body, you get to treasure it and value it, born into this earth body. But who you are is consciousness itself, the loving witness. And feel in this meditation the vastness and stillness of consciousness that can witness it all. And the tender compassion that comes when you actually feel the body you've been given just now. The emotions of the heart that the heart's been asked to carry. The busyness of the mind. And how there comes this tenderness and care, thank you, gratitude. You become the compassionate one. You become the loving awareness. Holding it all with ease and spaciousness. And let this tenderness and compassion now spread out from your being and heart and consciousness to all those around this earth. Everyone carrying their own body and emotions and thoughts, getting caught and worried and struggling and creating and solving, all of them. And say thank you for all the good that you do. And offer compassion for the suffering that they carry, or even that they may be causing, the pain in their lives. And send them loving kindness. and compassion. That they remember they too are the timeless awareness, consciousness itself. That they can step out of the fears of the small sense of self and rest in a vast peace and compassion for all. When a baby is born, our first response is love. When a dear one dies, the hand we hold is a gesture of love. Timeless love and awareness is who we really are. We come in this way and we leave this way. Trust it. It is your true nature. And when you rest in this, you can tend this beloved body and this great heart that was born within you. You can live from the place of wisdom. Take the time to sit quietly and bring this loving awareness to body, heart, and mind. Become the loving witness. It is the sweet oil that eases the hinge into the garden. And I end reading a passage from a poet, activist, Margaret Wheatley. She writes, "Warriors for the human spirit are awake human beings who have chosen not to flee. They abide. We are the ones on the boat that Thich Nhat Hanh spoke of, letting ourselves be centered and present with a quiet mind and an open heart. They abide. They serve as beacons of an ancient story that tells of the goodness and generosity and creativity of humanity. You can identify them by their cheerfulness. You will know them by their compassion. When asked how they do it, they will tell you about discipline, dedication, and the necessity of community. And we have come together in community, thousands of us, to root ourselves in the earth, to become the loving witness, to remember who we really are, this mystery of consciousness, to find our place of trust and even cheerfulness amidst it all. For this is your human birthright. It is your Buddha nature, the capacity to be awake and loving, to embody the great heart of compassion. This is you. This is a reminder, an invitation, and a deep vow of recognition. Thank you. And now I'll ask my beloved Trudy to carry on with this teaching and wish you all well.
Thank you, Jack. Climb over our wires here. Yes, thank you, Jack. That was beautiful. And you know, as we're here in the Embodiment Conference, I just want to acknowledge that embodiment has different meanings for each of us, depending on the kinds of bodies we're living in. An old body or a young body. Young bodies are fetishized in Western culture anyway. A racialized body, a marginalized body. There's a kind of often maybe a subtle obliviousness among the white bodies to the privilege and impact of being in a white body. And there can also be an assumption that, you know, we're all the same, or that we all want to be the same, and we're not. So I just want us to, as I begin this part of our teaching, to take into consideration, just to remember for a moment, that in Western culture, we have a deeply rooted history of colonialism, of enslaving people, of exploiting people, and awareness of this history of individualism and dominance. I think it's really important for understanding the suffering of feeling endangered in your body. If you're a BIPOC person in America, of feeling endangered in your body, and also the loss that we all can feel that comes from this feeling of separation from our bodies. And so I think even before the global pandemic, it's difficult for us, for many people, to feel a sense of belonging in their bodies. And yet everybody, the countless beings that we have worked with, seems to be longing to return to it and to find ways to move through this difficult time with some sense of grace, some sense of well-being that can be felt with the aliveness of embodiment. So mindfulness and compassion practices, which we teach, offer doorways into this sense, this felt sense of aliveness, and just the simplicity of being alive. The first foundation of mindfulness, which I'm sure you have heard about, the ground of our existence where we bring attention, is the body. And we were instructed by our teacher of thousands of years ago the Buddha wanted us to feel the body in the body, to feel the breath in the breath, to experience, what does it mean to say feel the body in the body, or feel the breath in the breath? It means to experience it from within, from that subjective felt sense, and not to make the body other and objectify it and treat it and how we dress it and weigh it and so on. So feeling this body from within, from the inside, this is the kind of mindfulness that is a participatory observation. We're both the subject and the object of the loving awareness that Jack was teaching us and manifesting. And we're both at the same time. We both witness and experience all the physical sensations and emotions and thoughts that we're having simultaneously. The word for mindfulness is sati, and it means remember. Don't forget. Don't forget to relax and receive this moment and receive what's here, and to notice it and to be present with life unfolding just as it is, just in the form of this breath, this sensation, this moment in our whole lives, this particular moment in all eternity. This is a quote that I love from a Thai meditation master of the last century, one of the teachers of Jack's teacher, Ajahn Chah. He says, in your investigation of the world, never allow the mind to desert the body. Examine the body's nature, see the elements that make it up, see the impermanence, the suffering that comes with having a body, the selflessness of the body when meditating. And that can be felt when standing, walking, lying down. And then the body's true nature is seen fully and lucidly by the heart. The wonders of the world will become clear. And in this way, the purity of the being can shine forth, timeless and delivered. So this is a real invitation for us to stay with this felt sense of the body and understand that the teaching is that within this, just this body, this fathom-long body, all the truths of life can be experienced and known and understood. And that we can move beyond the identities that define us in this body and free our hearts through the experience of this body. And, researchers are discovering that it turns out that our cells are actually listening to how we are. The research of Elizabeth Blackburn, Alyssa Epple, and Steve Cole at UCLA they've shown how mindful participation in a human life positively affects our body's molecular dynamics, so that our very cells are listening and know whether we're feeling lonesome, whether we're feeling connected to others. And it turns out one of the key things in determining our health and happiness and well-being and our capacity to love is this subjective sense of connection, which translates into the actual biochemistry of our bodies and can flip on or suppress the activity of our very genes. So this is extraordinary to me, that how we experience and receive the world, and even with histories of trauma and tremendous adversity, the genome can be healed through this sense of connection, of belonging in the body and to each other. This conference couldn't come at a better time in our world for all of us to really connect with and experience the power that we have to transform even the cells of our body. The late, great Indian teacher, Nisargadatta Maharaj, says it this way. He says, I find that somehow by shifting the focus of attention, and that's all, and we all have this capacity to shift our focus of attention. We're doing it all day long. By shifting the focus of attention, I become the very thing I look at and experience the kind of consciousness it has. I become the inner witness of the thing, and I call this capacity of shifting this focal point of consciousness, I call this love. And he goes on to say, love says I'm everything. Wisdom says I'm nothing. And between these two, my life flows. So I want to invite you to do a practice together. We're going to work intentionally with this capacity to shift our attention, and it's a way to develop and train our capacity to be embodied right here, right now, with a practice that can bring a sense of ease and well-being to the body. And this practice that I'm going to share with you right now, I learned from a monk from Sri Lanka in the context of an intensive long meditation retreat. And he began to teach this guided meditation, and it seemed so simple, almost silly to me. I was pretty skeptical, and you may feel the same way when you hear it, but I want to encourage you to just try, and maybe you'll discover the way I did that it was actually a really beneficial practice, very helpful. So please, relax in your posture, however you are, just relax, receive this moment. I'm going to say these simple words, which you might think are, just way too naive or silly, but try it anyway. All you have to do is quietly, silently repeat the words to yourself and listen to what you're saying. So if you're comfortable closing your eyes, please do that. Otherwise, just lower your gaze, lower your eyelids a little. I also take off my shoes. It's like a kind of signal to my body that this is time to relax. So I'm taking off my shoes. I'm going to take a deep breath. And maybe one more. And right at this beginning, just step back, take this step back, shift your body back, just maybe an inch. So instead of anticipating and tipping toward what's next, you're relaxing back into receiving just this moment. Just what's happening right now. And in this receiving of the moment, we're going to see if we can receive the moment just for now in the spirit of appreciation, of gratitude, and maybe even some love. So now, bring attention to the region of your head. Just feel the whole region of your head and offer these phrases of well-wishing. They're like loving kindness phrases. May my head be happy. May my scalp relax and be happy. May my face, ears, my whole head be relaxed and happy. And then slowly moving your attention down into the neck. May my neck be happy. My throat, the front and back and sides of my neck. May my neck relax and be happy. And then moving your attention into the arms. May my arms be happy. Feeling the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms, and the wrists. May my arms relax and be happy. And now moving attention into the area of the hands. Just feeling the thumbs and fingers, the palms of the hands, the backs of the hands, the knuckles. May my hands be happy. Releasing any tension held in the hands. May my hands relax and be happy. And now gently move your attention to the shoulders. So much tension can be held in the shoulders. May my shoulders lower, relax, and be at ease. May my shoulders be happy. And now shift the attention to the back, the upper back, the middle back, the lower back. May my back, my whole spine be at ease, be well and strong. And now bringing attention to the front of the body, to the chest, the area that stores a lot of emotion. Just feeling this whole region of the chest. May my chest be at ease. May my chest be happy, inside and out. And then moving the attention down to the region of the belly, the lower abdomen. May my belly be happy and peaceful, soft and relaxed. And then bringing attention to the hips and the buttocks, the bottom where we sit. May my whole bottom be happy and at ease. Hips, buttocks, and genitals. May my genitals be peaceful, content. May this whole pelvic region be happy and relaxed. And now bringing attention to the thighs. May my thighs be happy. May they be free from judgment, relaxed and at ease. And my knees, these big complex joints, may my knees be well and happy. And my lower legs, the shins, the calves, the ankles. May my lower legs relax and be at ease. May both of my legs, my whole legs, be happy and well. And then bringing attention to the feet, the heels, the soles, the toes, the arches, the tops of the feet, the whole foot, each foot. May my feet who carry me everywhere be happy. May they be appreciated and feel loved. And now just feeling the whole body from head to toe, just suffusing the body with loving awareness, with our intention to appreciate, respect, care for, and love this body. Bringing this quality of attention to the body brings a sense of coming home, of finding in the body, in this very body, in this very moment of your life, of our lives, the ground of well-being. And then when you're ready, opening your eyes if they've been closed. We often end a meditation with the sound of a bell. You can imagine that, ding. And this turning toward our bodies, it can relieve a sense of deep loneliness, a sense that is really plaguing so many people during this time when we can't be together in the ways that we always have used to be and want to be, and can't do that for now. So it can relieve a deep loneliness. As the 18th century Zen master Hakuin said, one mouthful of reality relieves an eternal hunger. And often at the end of our day, we feel busy, we feel frazzled, we forget to ask ourselves, how much love am I offering myself or my loved ones, alleged loved ones, right now? How much presence, how much ability to slow into the experience of just feeling the aliveness of our being. This is a gift to ourselves when we can do it, to all those whose lives we touch. And so I just want to encourage you to try this out whenever you can. And as Jack said, to keep in mind, we have been through hard times before as human beings. Our ancestors knew this. The older generations knew this. The older generations that now Jack and I are, we know this. And we remember times that were particularly difficult or divisive. And what's important, I think, is for all of us together to support each other in holding and carrying a sense of dignity and the possibility of this consciousness of our aliveness and humanity, no matter what. We know how to do this. And Jack, come back for a minute, sit with me. We're going to squeeze into this chair together. And just there. And just say thank you for being with us, for practicing with us, and how much of a privilege and an honor it is to be here with everyone. And thank you, Mark. And thank you, Jack.
Thank you, Trudy, dear. Yeah, I loved listening to you and just sensing that what we offered and perhaps what much of the rest of the conference offers you is simply a reminder of who you really are, who you can be, and how you can manifest in the world, and to practice regularly so you remember it. So thank you and blessings.
We love these practices. We've given our lives to doing this. So we know that it works and we're cheering you on. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you both very much. We'll put your websites in the chat. Thank you. I know people were asking about those poems as well, if anyone has the names or locations of those poems that they want to put in the chat. Okay. We'll bring Jack and Trudy in for a final comment in a couple of minutes, just a few practical things before that. So as ever, you can go to a coffee break room. One of the wonderful things about this conference is you can go to the portal and click on the link on the top right, 3 dots, and find yourself in a room with some human beings to chat to, which is nice after a meditation, quite often to, meet some other people and talk about it. As ever, you can buy the conference library. I know it's getting quite popular now as people are realizing like, hey, I want to keep learning and keep listening to all these great teachers after Monday. The price doubles on Monday, but it is available from now if you want to get that. We have lots of other great teachers coming up. This time tomorrow night, for example, is Rick Hansen, who's pretty interesting. John Kabat-Zinn is also tomorrow. So there are some very, very cool sessions and ones, we've had in the past, different meditation teachers on, people like Sharon Salzberg and Joseph Goldstein. So some people you might enjoy. Steve, what else to say?
I think you pretty much got everything, because I was going to say about Sharon and stuff. I've also put the Facebook group there because there's a lot of discussions. You may add the poems in there and discuss some other stuff too. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Steve, my late night friend, once again, much appreciated. And maybe we could go back to Jack and Trudy for the final word. We normally ask for a top tip or a quote, and we're going to put them all together in a book at the end. So do you have a top tip or a sentence for us to include?
Wait, I'm just putting up the poems and stuff that we used for everybody. Okay, I'll get rid of the chat. And Mark, will you put the Inside LA website as well as the trudygoodman.com website when you post those for everybody? That would be great.
Steve, could you find that one?
Yep, sorry, I missed that. What was it?
Insight.
Which is the meditation center that I founded in Los Angeles. It's Insight, INSIGHT LA. Yeah. And Jack is sitting here wanting to read a quote. Is that correct?
Possibly. I love the fact, Trudy, that you started with reflection on the different kinds of bodies that people get and the way that they've both been used and misused and abused by others. And all of the things that when we actually pay attention to our body, it's not just what's within our body, but what's within the social body and the body of our community, which is its own kind of a body.
And it's important to locate, I am a white cisgender woman living in this body in the world, and that has carries with it particular privileges and particular challenges.
And people sometimes think of meditation and mindfulness as passive, but it actually has two parts, like breathing in and breathing out. One part is mindful presence, and the second half is mindful response. Sati Sampajanya are the two words in Sanskrit or Pali. So we've been practicing mindful presence, but the world also requires us then to get up from our seat. In Zen, they say there are only two things: you sit and you sweep the garden, to get up into the garden of the world. And so I end with these words from Martin Luther King, where he says, power without love is reckless and abusive, and love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice, and justice is love in action. So we get to do both.
Yes, and if you're in America, if you're in the United States, I just want to encourage you to please vote. Make sure you do it. We really need you to do it.
We need you all to vote, wherever you are, in whatever your country, if you're allowed to vote.
I wanted to have my sticker to wear for you today, so I did make sure to do my ballot today. And yeah, hopefully you'll do the same if you're here.
Great. Thank you both for joining us today. Thank you, Steve, for hosting, and thank you, everyone, for being part of the conference.